All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hopefully, everyone that's in the chat or has gotten my Spotify playlist in the chat, you can go ahead and start that. If you're on Facebook and Instagram, if you just search for Sunset Yoga with / Nina, then you will see my Spotify playlist. I'm on there. I also have a post on Facebook and Spotify about where to find that. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. So find a comfortable seated position on your mat. Finding a comfortable seated position. Awesome. All right. For those who just entered into Zoom, I'm giving you my Spotify playlist. Feel free to start the playlist actually. So feel free to start it and make sure it's in order too. It's not on shuffle. It should start off with Breathing Space, should be the first song on it. I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. All right, so we're finding a comfortable seated position on our mats. If you have any pillows or blankets or blocks, feel free to grab that in this moment. We're definitely going to be using those throughout. And when you do find a comfortable seated position on your mat, try to be as comfortable as possible. So try not to, force your body into a position right now that doesn't feel good for you. And if that means that you need to lie down on your back, that is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. That's your practice. So whatever you need right now to start off practice. And if you are sitting upright on your mat, trying to add some length into the spine, reaching the shoulders away from the ears, perhaps closing the eyes. And if you do have the playlist, feel free to start that playlist. It should be an instrumental song called Breathing Space first. And just take this moment to tune into what is happening right now in the present. Noticing what the breath feels like as it enters into our bodies. Noticing the movement of our bodies with our breath. Noticing if your chest is rising and falling. Noticing if the belly, the abdomen is protracting with every breath that we take in. And leaving whatever it is that we walked into our yoga mat, our little yoga space here, leaving whatever we walked in with outside of the mat. So leaving the past in the past and leaving whatever we are walking into in the future. So leaving that in the future, just really taking this moment to focus on what is happening right now on our mats in this very moment. And along with the breath, so just keeping that awareness of the breath, just noticing if there are any physical sensations that we feel in the body. So for some of us, that may be that we have been carrying pain all day, or maybe pain for the weekend, pain for the week. And instead of just noticing that we feel pain, try to actually visit that place in your body where that sensation, in this case, for this example, the pain is. Some of us may feel some pressure, some tightness. Some of us may feel cold. Some of us may feel warm. So instead of just judging or labeling what it is that is happening in our body, simply traveling to those places in our body and trying to be curious about what is going on there. So and breaking down these labels that we give even more. So if we say pain, what actually do we feel? Do we feel a tugging? Do we feel a pulling? Do we feel a pressure, a heaviness? If we feel coolness or warmth, what does that mean? Do we feel heat? Do we feel glowing? Do we feel icy? So try to break down whatever we are noticing in our body even more, trying to break it down to its smallest pieces of what it means. And staying curious, not judging or labeling what we're feeling, but simply just noticing what it is that is coming up in our bodies and staying curious. Not everything needs to have a meaning right away. That very much so goes to our body. While we are continuing to bring awareness to our breath and our bodily sensations, I thought I would read a passage from that book that I've been reading every week, Journey to the Heart, talking about our theme for class today. So the theme today is to learn to live with ambiguity. What a time for that lesson to be happening right now, especially with everything going on. So feel free to continue just, listening. You can keep your eyes closed, you can keep your eyes open if you'd like, and just focusing on the breath as I read to you a bit of this passage. Sometimes the picture isn't finished yet. Ideas, possibilities, hopes, dreams float around, circling us like asteroids around a planet. We may think events in our lives are happening aimlessly, without purpose. All we see are disconnected, floating blobs. We reach for them, try to grab them in our hands so we can connect them, force them into a whole, force them into a picture we can see, something that makes sense. Let the pieces be. Let yourself be. Let life be. Sometimes chaos needs to precede order. The pieces will come together in a picture that makes sense, in a beautiful work of art that pleases. You don't have to force the pieces to fit together if it's not time. You don't have to know. There is power sometimes in not knowing. There is power in letting go, power in waiting, power in stillness, power in trust. There is power in letting the disconnected pieces be until they settle into a whole. The action you are to take will appear timely, clearly. What you are to do will become clear. So take a moment just to notice the response to what was just heard. Noticing if there is resonance with what is heard, or noticing if there is resistance to what is heard. And once again, we're not judging or labeling our reaction to the passage we just heard, but we're simply just staying curious. And using this lesson not only outside of the yoga mat, but we can use this lesson of ambiguity on the yoga mat. Sometimes we don't know how our yoga practice is going to be for us. Sometimes we don't know how a certain pose is going to feel for us, or what's going to happen at the end of this next hour. How are we going to feel? Are we going to feel better? Are we going to feel worse? We don't know, and it's okay to not know. So let that be a mantra, perhaps, as we move through our practice today. In any given moment, just tell ourselves, it's okay to not know right now, right? It's okay to not know. You can even use it with the breath. Inhaling in, it's okay. Exhaling out, to not know. That can be a breath mantra as well. And at this time, if there are any other intentions that you'd like to set for your practice, feel free to set those intentions for yourself. We'll revisit our intentions throughout class. On the next breath, slowly start to add some movement into the body. Just moving the body around, maybe doing some gentle twist for yourself, maybe moving the neck in circles. And as we move our body gently, if you are on any props, coming up off of your props, coming onto your hands and your knees for a few rounds of cat and cow. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are hips width apart. The gaze down, crown of the head in front of you. Inhale as you bring your belly towards the mat, curving the spine up, gaze up into cow. And exhale as we round the spine into a Halloween cap. So rounding the spine, gaze to the navel, into cap. Inhaling again, belly moving towards the mat, gaze up into cow. And exhale as we round the spine. So continue doing a few more rounds of cat and cow with your own pace. Moving at whatever pace feels comfortable for you and moving along with that breath as well. Seeing how the breath feels as we start movement. And doing any last movements that we need as well before we get out of cat and cow. So maybe that is turning right and left, looking at your heels. Maybe that's flipping the wrist if there's any wrist pain from a lot of computer usage or using the hands. For some of you, it may feel good to kind of move the hips in circles. So just moving the hips in circles. Whatever feels good to you, continue to do that. Maybe even closing the eyes, just noticing what is coming up for you in the body. For anyone who just joined, I'm putting the Spotify playlist in the chat box. If you're on Instagram and Facebook, you can search for Sunset Yoga with, so W/Nina on Spotify and find the playlist. We're on the second song right now. So keep doing your cat and cow. All right. So start finishing up your cat and cow. Hopefully there's some more movement in the spine and the hips. We're now going to activate our core. So this is a sunset class. This does use some heat building in the beginning. So we're going to start that heat building process. So come into a neutral tabletop position. The gaze is down at the mat, the crown of the head in front of you. Tuck your toes and push into your hands as you lift your knees 1 inch off of the mat. You should feel this in your core. Hug the belly to the spine, engaging your core, your abdominals. Breathing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Lower the knees 1/2 inch. 5, 4. Keep that breath moving. 3, 2, 1. Raise the hips to the sky, coming into your first downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So in your downward dog, you want to have your hands shoulders width apart. You want your feet hips width apart. It's okay to bend the knees, so just feel free to bend the knees and get comfortable in this first downward dog. Shoulders are away from the ears. Try not to scrunch the head up to the shoulders. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Let the head and neck relax. So let's relax the head and the neck today. Spreading those fingers wide. Spreading those fingers wide. Really pushing down into those inner corners of both of your hands. On the next breath, look to the front of your mat in between your hands. Gently walk your feet to your hands. So gently walk your feet. Place your feet about hips width apart, grab opposite elbows, and let the head hang, coming into ragdoll. So coming into a forward fold. This will feel really nice in the backs of the legs if you put more of the weight into the balls of your feet. So you should feel this in your hamstrings. This may feel extra good or maybe not so good depending on what you did this weekend or earlier today. Whatever it is, grabbing opposite elbows. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to avoid feeling any pain. Just getting a nice little forward fold stretch here. And then relax the hands down away from the ears. Slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. All right, so we're gonna start our sun salutations, build some heat. I want you to modify this as much as needed. If you need to slow down and go at your own pace, feel free to do that, or modify as needed for your body. Your feet are together at the tops of your mat. Your heels are slightly apart. Hands to the side, standing tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a deep inhale here as we float the arms up to the sky, palms together above our heads, gaze up at the palms. Exhale as you forward fold, hinging forward at the hips, Uttanasana. Bending the knees as much as you need to avoid any pain. Inhale as you come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Your fingertips can be on the mat or you can place your hands on your shins. Keep the gaze down, the crown of the head reaching in front of you. Exhale as you forward fold Uttanasana. Breathe in here. Inhale as you roll up one vertebra at a time, painting a circle up to the sky, palms touching above the head, gaze up, palms down at the heart, and to the side. Now building on further, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up at the palms. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, hinging forward at the hips. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, coming up halfway. Exhale, as you bend both knees, plant both hands down on the mat. Bring your left foot back. Bring your right foot back. You're in a high plank, so breathing here, your shoulders are directly over your wrist. Lower that butt down just a little bit. So we don't want our butt too high, we don't want our butt too low. So try to be in a plank position. You're on the balls of your feet. Your core should definitely be active here, right? So if you're not feeling that, then try to make sure your shoulders are over your wrist. Breathing here for 10, 9, keep that breath moving, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, keep it going, 2, 1. Go back into downward dog. Raise those hips high to the sky. Really important to keep that breath going even when we're in uncomfortable positions where we use our core. Like if we do planks or any sort of core exercise, really important to keep that breath going, not to hold in the breath. Nod the head yes in downward dog. Shake the head no. Look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up at the palms, palms down at the heart, and to the side. And again, building on further, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend both knees, plant both hands. Bring the left foot back. Bring the right foot back, coming back into that high plank. Now, option here, if you want to hold the high plank, you are more than welcome to hold the high plank if you want some more core. If you don't want to hold the high plank, then lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck the toes. Push the hands about 6 inches in front of you. And inhale up as you lift the elbows up, coming into baby cobra, Bhujangasana. Breathing here. Exhale as you come back down, placing those hands underneath the shoulders. If you're in a high plank, keep that breath going. If you're in the baby cobra, squeeze the elbows into the body. Tuck those toes, lift those knees up. Push up into high plank. We'll meet the high plankers. All right, we're all going back into downward dog. Great job. Keep that breath moving, shoulders away from the ears. Spreading those fingers wide. Nodding that head yes. Shaking that head no. Look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze up at the palms. Palms down at the heart. And to the side. And again, building that heat. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend both knees, plant both hands. Bring the left foot back. Bring the right foot back. We're all in a high plank. So option here, you can do the cobra that we just did. Or if you want to do chaturanga, you're going to shift the shoulders past the wrist, bend the elbows into the body, lowering into a staff pose. Inhaling as the heart moves through, tops of the feet down, upward dog or cobra. Exhale as you roll back into downward dog. Now that is a full vinyasa. Surya Namaskar A, sun salutations A with the vinyasa. Breathing here, shoulders away from the ears, fingers spread wide. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze up at the palms. Palms down at the heart and to the side. And again, keep it going. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale as you step or jump back, Chaturanga or Cobra, moving through your vinyasa at your own pace. We'll all meet back at Downward Dog, giving you a chance to listen to your body. And it's okay to not know, right? That mantra that we had. It's okay to not know what you necessarily need right now, but perhaps you can feel what you need right now. We'll all meet back in Downward Dog whenever you're ready. Nodding the head yes. Shaking the head no. Look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing. Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up at the palms. Palms down at the heart. And to the side. Just take a moment. Just close your eyes, stand where you are, maybe separate the feet a little bit to find more balance. And just notice what is happening in the body right now. Just notice what sensations are coming up, maybe traveling to those same places that we felt sensations earlier, and just noticing what's going on there. Not judging or labeling it as good or bad, right or wrong, simply just observing. And it's okay to not know, right? It's totally okay to not even know how you feel in the body. It's perfectly okay. All right, on the next breath, gently blink open the eyes. Squeeze those feet together once again at the top of the mat as we start our sun salutation B, Surya Namaskar B. Sit back like you are in a chair. So you're like kind of like you're skiing or you're in a chair. You're sitting back, sweep the arms up to frame the ears. You'll also feel this in your core, but tuck that tailbone in. And see if you can bring your knees past your toes. You should be able to look down at your toes. If you're not able to see your toes, move the knees back towards you. Open up the heart even more. Breathing here. Option for those of you who want to challenge. Come into the balls of your feet. Try to find that balance here. Breathing here for 5, 4. Keep that breath moving. 3, 2, 1. Exhale as you straighten the legs, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale as you step or jump back, Chaturanga or Cobra, moving through your vinyasa. We'll all meet back in Downward Dog. Moving with your breath at your own pace. When you're in your Downward Dog, shoulders away from the ears, fingers are spread wide. On the next breath, float that right leg high to the sky, long 3-legged dog. Open up that right hip by bending that right leg. So you're really opening up that right hip here. Straighten straighten the right leg back up to the sky. Listen carefully. You're going to shift forward, bringing your right knee to your nose. Like keep that leg hovering. You're using your core here. Keep that breath moving. Float that right leg up to the sky. Shift forward again, bringing your right knee to your nose, engaging that core, breathing here, building that heat. Float that right leg up to the sky. Shift forward as you bring your right foot down on the mat. Bring your right foot down. Stay in a low lunge. You're on the ball of your left foot. Your right knee is bent. Take your left hand. Either place it on a blanket, a pillow, a block, whatever feels good for you at a right height, or directly on the mat. Open up to the right side. Float that right arm up to the sky. You're in a mini twist here. Breathing here. Keep that left leg active. Breathing here, looking at that right arm that's up at the sky. Keeping that breath moving. On that next breath, bring your right hand back down to the mat. On the next breath, you're going to now lower your left heel onto the mat. Okay, so you're pivoting that back foot. Now both heels are on the mat. You're standing directly on the mat with both feet. Rise up into Warrior One. So you're in Warrior One. On this first Warrior One, straighten that front leg. Square your hips over that front foot. Okay, so square your hips to the front of the mat, and your back foot, your back heel is on the mat, your front heel is on the mat. Now bend that right knee over that right ankle and float the arms up to the sky. Option here, your arms can just be shoulders width apart, or you can gaze up at your palms together for more of a challenge. But keep both legs active here and shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. On the next breath, bring both hands down around that right foot. Come onto the ball of your left foot. You're in a low lunge. Using your core, bring that right foot back to meet that left foot, coming back into your high plank. Option 2, vinyasa, or go straight back into downward dog. And if you need child's pose at any moment, feel free to always go into child's pose. And once again, it's okay to not know. It's totally okay to not know, and to not be able to piece things together right now. Nodding the head, yes. Shaking the head, no. On the next breath, float that left leg up to the sky, long three-legged dog. Open up that left hip by bending that left leg. Straighten that left leg back up to the sky. Listen carefully. Shift forward your left knee to your nose. Hovering that knee high above the mat, using your core. Breathing here, floating that left leg up to the sky. Once again, shift forward, bringing your knee to your nose. Engage that core. Keep that breath moving. Float that left leg up to the sky. On the next breath, shift forward, bringing your left foot down on the mat in between both hands. You're still on the ball of your right foot, so you're in a low lunge. Grab a prop if you need for your right hand, or place your right hand directly on the mat. Float that left arm up to the sky, coming into a little twist. Breathing here, gazes up at that left hand, or if the neck hurts, you can keep your gaze down. Whatever feels good for you. And just check that right leg is not sinking down to the mat, that right leg is active. Breathing here. On the next breath, bring that left foot back down, so both hands are framing that left foot. And now bring your right heel down onto the mat. So now both heels are on the mat. Slowly rise up to standing into warrior 1. For this first warrior 1 on this side too, straighten that front leg, square the hips to the front edge of your mat. So your left toes and your hips should both be facing the top edge of your mat. Once you've done that, now bring that left knee over that left ankle. This may feel a little funky, and that's okay, right? It's always funky when we try to realign ourselves in our yoga practice from what we're used to, right? So left knee over that left ankle, arms can come up to frame the ears. They can be shoulders width apart, or you can bring the palms together, gaze up at the palms. Keep that breath moving here in your warrior 1. Keep both legs active. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. On the next breath, bring both hands down around that left foot. Come back onto the ball of your right foot, so you're in a low lunge. Use your core as you bring your left foot back to meet your right foot. Everyone stay here in your high plank for 10, 9, keep that breath moving, 8, lift those kneecaps up, 7, keep the gaze down, 6, 5, 4, you got this, almost there, 3, 2, 1. Option to move through your vinyasa or go back into downward dog. Once you go to your downward dog, come down into child's pose, taking a moment of rest, bringing the knees down to the mat, bringing the forehead down to the mat, breathing here in child's pose. Taking a moment here in child's pose just to notice what is going on in the body. Notice what is going on in the mind and the body. And ask yourself, what right now are you trying to make sense of? And is there a way to let go of making sense of everything right now in this moment? and letting that ambiguity come in. On the next breath, gently rise back up into your downward dog. And look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale as you sit back in that chair, Utkatasana, that awkward chair pose. Sweeping the arms up to frame the ears. Tucking that tailbone in. Option to come into the balls of your feet. Breathing here for 5. Lift that heart up. 4. Sit back even deeper. 3. 2. 1. Straighten the legs. Palms up overhead. Palms down at the heart. And to the side. All right, so we're going to do a standing balancing pose before we come all the way down to the mat for our more yin part of class, the slower part of class. All right, so in the standing pose, I'm going to teach you Dandiyamana Jani Shirshasana. Don't even try to say that more than like once in a row. It's a tongue twister. Guys, I'll show you what it looks like first, okay? So I'll show you from the side. So Dandiyamana is when you basically lift a leg up, okay, and then you bend over. So I don't expect you to be able to do that, but I'm going to teach you how to lead into that, okay? And then in future classes, you might be able to do more and more. Okay. First step to doing this standing balancing pose is just stand on both of your feet with both of your feet down and just find kind of that center of gravity to begin with, okay? So find that center of gravity so that you're not swaying onto your left foot and you're not swaying onto your right foot, okay? So you're in the middle, right? So balancing, this is the first piece to balancing, right? Is to be able to shift that balance, right? Okay. So we're in the middle now. Now shift onto your left foot. Okay, so now your right foot should be easier to pick up. Right, so you're shifting onto your left foot. Now just bend your knee up. This is the first step. Okay, so some of you may want to stay here with this step here. This is a really great balancing posture. For some of you, you may want to squeeze that right knee into the body. Okay. This may be where some of you stop. If you want to go further, you're going to hug your chest to your thigh and you're going to make a basket underneath your right foot. Okay, that's the next step. Some of you may want to stop here. If you want to try to extend, you're going to extend that leg out in front of you. That's the next step for some of you. If you want to move further, then you can bow your head, as much as I may or may not fall, bow your head to your right leg, okay? So wherever you are, just try balancing it. If you fall, just come back out of it and get back in. Just have fun with it. But remember, it takes steps to get anywhere, right? So it took me many times of falling to really get there, right? See, you can see here I'm losing balance. All right, so wherever you are, just take a few more breaths to find that balance. And if that balance for you is just this, that's balance, that's practice, right? It's definitely going to build, right, that ability to balance more and more. All right, so just take a next few breaths wherever you are, and then lower that right leg down gently. You can roll over your toes, and if there's any pain there. All right, so now come back onto both of your feet. You'll notice that your body is going to want to shift onto your left foot. See if you can recenter that gravity, right? The center of gravity over both of your feet. So recenter that weight. Just stand here. Just finding that balance, really rooting into both feet. And now on the next breath, shift onto your right foot. Okay. So now your left foot should feel lighter. So you're shifting onto your right foot. Same order of steps, and you stop wherever is most comfortable for you. Okay, so you don't need to go further, right? And force yourself to go any further than you are comfortable with doing, right? We all take these steps to get there. So first step is just to bend that left knee. Okay, so you're just bending that left knee. This is a great balance practice. You're gonna feel this in your core. Okay, so your core is working very hard to keep you balanced right now.
So no matter what you're doing, you are definitely getting a workout right now. Option here, if you want to move further, squeeze that left knee into the body. Okay, so that's the next step here. If you want to move further, hug that chest into that left knee and form a basket underneath that left foot. Option to stay here, or you can try to extend that left leg out in front of you, and you can try to bow down to that left foot, okay, that left knee. So wherever you are, stop at whatever point feels comfortable for you. So take a few moments just to get some of that balance practice in today, using a lot of your core, a lot of your inner fire, just to stay balanced, right? So that even if you don't feel like you are doing anything right now, you are definitely doing a lot on the inside. All right, so just take the next breath and then release that left foot down. Great job, everybody. Dandiyamana Jani Shirshasana, if you ever want to give yourself a tongue twister for that. All right, great job, great job. All right, so come back to the front of your mat, and we're gonna flow all the way down to the mat and go into the second part of our class, which is more of a slower paced class. It'll kind of wind down and move a little bit more into the connective tissue and the deeper fascia of our body. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up at the palms. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, hinging forward at the hips. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, as you step the left foot back, step the right foot back, coming into a high plank, go back into downward dog. And then come down into child's pose, taking a moment here to connect back to the mat, forehead coming down to the mat, arms out in front of you. And slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. All right, so we're gonna be mostly on the, actually not mostly, we're gonna be on the floor for the remainder of class, okay? So this is a great time to gather props. If you have blankets or you have pillows, multiple pillows and blankets may be good for you, okay? So as you roll up, swing your hips off to one side, bring your legs out in front of you. For some of you, it may feel good to sit on the edge of a pillow, sit on the edge of a blanket. That might help to release that lower back a little bit more. Wherever you are, flex the feet, sitting tall. So reach the crown of the head up to the sky. Bring the arms to frame the ears towards the sky. Inhale the crown of the head up further. Exhale as you fold over your legs. This is also a great place to have pillows or blankets. You can just fold over your pillow or your blanket. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need. There's no need to strain the back or strain the body in this moment. So feel free to just kind of, you can hug your chest onto your thighs. If you don't have a pillow or a blanket, feel free to place as many pillows or blankets as you want on your legs so that you can let your head and neck relax. And take this time just to get deeper into the body. So once again, it may feel like you're not getting much from this, but you are getting so much from just staying in one pose for a little bit longer than just quickly moving from pose to pose, right? So really getting more into the muscle, into the connective tissue. And if you want to challenge yourself a little more, then you don't need to use props, and you can just kind of inch yourself a little bit further. But if I were you, I would just sort of see where you are right now in this moment, and then just listen to the body. So if you need a little bit more of a stretch, then you can add a little bit more of a stretch. If you need a little bit more relaxation, then you can back off from the stretch. And it's okay to not necessarily know right now, right? It's okay to kind of feel and see what comes up for you. We're gonna stay here for just a few minutes, just one or two more minutes. So get comfortable here, lying forward in your forward fold. And trying to let go of the jaw, noticing if the jaw is clenched. Noticing if we are scrunching our shoulders up to our ears. How can we let go right now of needing to do more work? How can we just simply relax right now? And see if you can let your neck relax more importantly. And if we ever notice that the mind wanders to the past, to what we came into this class with, or if we find ourselves wandering to what's after class, maybe thinking about what we want to make for dinner, what we're going to do after class, it's okay to have those thoughts come in. But if we can in this moment just enjoy, right, the moment that we have now on our mats. See if you can guide yourself to the present moment, to what is happening in the body right now, or to bring awareness to the breath. And it's okay if this only lasts for a few seconds and then we get back to the past or the future. You just keep trying, right? It's a practice like anything else. The more you practice it, the more that it comes naturally to us. On the next breath, slowly start to add some movement into the body, deepening the breath. And slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. You can place your prop off to the side for just a moment as we are going to do a little bit of a wider leg stretch. Okay, so it's okay if you can't go more than this, right? You can do a V, you can go as wide as you can, whatever feels good to you. Once again, it may feel good for some of you to sit on the edge of a rolled up blanket or pillow. Okay, it's gonna help to release some of that lower back and the hips. Okay, so you can elevate that as much as feels good for you. I would place a prop in front of you so that you can lie over it, or many pillows, blankets in front of you. So sit tall, adding length into your spine, flex those feet, bring the arms up to frame the ears. Inhale the crown of the head up to the sky. Exhale as you reach as far as you can in front of you. When you can't reach anymore, then just simply let the hands fall to the ground and let the head and the neck relax. So like I said, for some of you, it may feel good to kind of have a pillow to kind of land on, multiple pillows, blankets, or if you're okay, just kind of letting the head and the neck hang. But really let the head relax. Okay, we are spending so much of our day keeping our head up and adding a lot of tension to our neck and our shoulders. So see if you can just let the shoulders relax right now. Let the head relax. For some of you, it may feel good to do some slow neck rolls too. So you can move in a half circle from left ear to left shoulder, right ear to right shoulder, if that feels good to you. Okay, but just listen to your body. If anything feels painful, then take that as a sign to back off a little bit. And the opposite side of that is if you don't feel as much as you would like to right now, then you can add a little bit more of a stretch. Just listening to your body, there's no wrong answer here. And it's also okay to not know in this moment what you need. See if you can let the jaw relax, the throat relax, unclenching the teeth. We'll stay here once again for another minute or two. So getting comfortable and, changing any sort of adjustment as feels good for you. Noticing if the mind wanders, and if it wanders, that's okay. Just coming back to the present moment, tuning into our breath, tuning into what is happening in our body in this moment. Using that as a way to anchor ourselves into the now. And if you do notice any bodily sensations, we're not judging or labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong. We're simply just observing what is coming up. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. On the next breath, slowly roll up. Just seated, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. On this next breath, we're just going to inverse the feet. So now bring the feet together. So now the feet are touching, the knees are apart, Baddha Konasana. So bring the feet together. Feel free once again to bring something on top of your feet that you want to lay over. We're not going to be here quite as long as the other poses, but we'll be here for at least a minute. So hold on to wherever feels good for you. Sit tall, adding length into the spine, reaching the crown of the head up to the sky. Inhale up further. Exhale as you fold over your feet, getting to those hips a little bit more. Feel free to grab a pillow or a blanket to kind of lay yourself over. If you feel too much of a stinging pain in the hips, your feet are probably a little too close. Okay, so you can bring the feet out into a diamond if that feels less painful. Or if this doesn't work for you at all right, feel free to just once again do a wide-legged stretch. Some of you may, if it's too painful into the knees. Sometimes it helps just for future reference to have blocks underneath the knees, or you can put pillows underneath the knees too. That can help to relieve any knee pain, any back pain. So just lay forward, just getting into those hips, letting the head and neck relax, letting the shoulders relax. Just noticing the breath in this moment, becoming aware of the breath, or perhaps becoming aware of what is happening in the body. We're not judging or labeling anything as good or bad, right or wrong. We're simply just observing, staying curious to what appears. And on the next breath, slowly start to roll up, one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do before Shavasana is we're gonna do a little bit of breath work, actually. So we call that pranayama. So prana is life, and we're talking about moving kind of the breath, moving the life force through our body. So if I were you, I would find a comfortable, seated position. I'm gonna sit on the edge of a block, but if you don't have a block, then a blanket or rolled up blanket would feel good, a pillow. So just taking the next moment to find something. I'm just gonna pause this for the moment. All right, so we're sitting on the edge of a blanket, a pillow, a block, or you don't need to sit on anything. If you're comfortable just sitting on your mat. Okay, So I'm going to teach us how to do alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so I'm actually going to come up closer to the camera and show you how your hand should be. So if you take your right hand, okay, put down your index finger and your middle finger and try to, and this looks kind of like a Spock image, but it's not a Spock image. Okay, so put your index finger, your middle finger down and stick your pinky and your ring finger together. So flip that towards you. Okay, so if I flip my hand towards you, my index finger, my middle finger are coming down and I'm squeezing the pinky and the ring finger together. Right, so it's kind of like a aloha, kind of like a rocking out, okay? So when we're doing alternate nostril breathing, we're gonna use the thumb to close one of our nostrils and then this ring finger and pinky duo to kind of close the other nostril, okay? So you're gonna do this. I'll direct you what to do, but you're gonna do that. We're just gonna do a few minutes of this, all right? We'll kind of build this practice throughout class. Okay, so face your palm towards you and you're gonna use your thumb and your ring finger to kind of pinch off that bridge of the nose to close that nostril, okay? Okay, so an alternate nostril breathing, it's really cleansing, it's very calming. In fact, this is one of the most calming pieces of breath work you can do. It's really nice to do before bed. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just breathe normally. Okay, so just take the next moment just to breathe normally and just yourself notice if the breath comes in through one nostril predominantly or both nostrils. Some of us may, be dealing with allergies and things like that that may affect it. But just take the next moment to just notice how your regular breath is. Sometimes we don't even notice, right, if breath is coming in through both nostrils or one nostril. All right, so now pay attention once again. So take your thumb and close off your right nostril. Inhale in through the left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Close off your left nostril. Exhale out through the right nostril. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right nostril. 4, 3, 2, 1. Close off that right nostril. Exhale out through the left nostril. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hand. So that's an idea of what alternate nostril breathing is, right? So you inhale in through one nostril and then you can exhale out through the other. It's really nice for clearing sinuses. So I'm sorry for those of you who may have had stuff come out, right? But it's really good and cleansing and it's very soothing. So let's do that actually one more time. Okay, so just resume your normal breathing. You may even feel a difference now after doing just a few little alternate nostril breaths right there. All right, so now close off that right nostril. Inhale in through the left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the left nostril. Exhale out through the right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale in again. 3, 2, 1. Close right, open left. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Inhale again. 3, 2, 1. Close the left nostril. Exhale out through the right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale in. 3, 2, 1. Close. Exhale out through the left. 3, 2, 1. All right, release the hand. Closing the eyes, just noticing how the body is responding to it. And it's okay to still be like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. This is a practice, right? So I'll do this in future classes as well. Maybe not all of them, but this definitely will come back up in future classes. All right, so we're gonna do one more round of this, and I'm gonna actually include a hold, where we close off both nostrils, and then we open up a nostril to either inhale or exhale, okay? So you'll have your normal breathing. Close off your left nostril this time. Inhale in through the right. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Pinch both nostrils. 3, 2, 1. Exhale out through the left. 3, 2, 1. Inhale in through the left. 3, 2,
1. Hold. Pinch both nostrils. 3, 2, 1. Exhale out through the right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale in. 3, 2, 1. Pinch off the right. Pinch both. 3, 2, 1. Exhale out through the left. 3, 2, 1. All right, release the hand. Resume the normal breathing. That was called Nodi Shodhana. Okay, so that is called alternate nostril breathing. Really great to do this before bed as a way to kind of soothe ourselves, calm ourselves down before bed, or if we just kind of encounter any stressful times throughout the day, even 5 minutes can make a huge difference. All right, so now we can get up off of our blankets and our pillows and come down onto our backs for our final pose of Shavasana. All right, so come onto our backs, legs out in front of us, arms out in front of us. You can get comfortable with your pillows, with your blankets in your Shavasana. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the throat. Knowing that it's okay to not know the whole story to something. It's okay to not have to attach meaning to something right away. It's okay to be in the middle. It's okay to be in that uncertainty, to be in that ambiguity. Let the pieces be, and they'll take shape. Soon you'll see the picture. Slowly start to deepen the breath, bringing movement into the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, perhaps circling the wrists, circling the ankles. Stretch the arms up overhead, growing really tall, stretching the legs out in front of you, arms behind you. And then when you're ready, rolling over onto either side, coming into a fetal position, taking a moment to collect your breath here. And then when you're ready, making your way back up onto your mat in a comfortable seated position, perhaps how you started off class, on the edge of a pillow, a blanket, a block. Bringing the palms together at the heart. Keeping the eyes closed or a soft gaze on something in front of you. Taking this moment to give gratitude to ourselves for showing up to our yoga practice this evening. making that conscious decision to do that for ourselves. Giving gratitude to our mind, our body, our breath for all that they do for us together in every moment. And last but not least, giving gratitude to those in our lives that perhaps are doing yoga with us or show up for us in our life in the ways that we need, show us love and compassion. And if we have any room in our heart, we're spreading that net even further to show compassion and love for all those out there that are helping us as humans survive, thrive, get food delivered, get mail delivered, that help us in small acts of kindness. So focusing on the heart space in this moment and thinking of how we are all showing up for one another. And coming back to that intention that we set at the beginning of class, or perhaps your personal intention, and knowing that it's okay to not know the whole story. And if we give it space, we can let stories form for us. The pieces will fall together if we create space, if we hold space for these. And knowing that these intentions don't stay on the yoga mat, they are carried with us everywhere we go. Yoga is a practice on and off of the yoga mat. I thank each and every one of you for practicing with me tonight. It is always an honor to share this practice with you. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Namaste. Thanks everyone. If I haven't met you before, however you're streaming me, it's nice to meet you. I'm Nina. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope to see you again in the future.